It's your boy Superman 2000. Back in the fight chair, baby. Getting ready to run some errands. Last night, I did not watch the fight. Straight up, I can tell you, I just went straight to sleep. Said tomorrow morning, I'll wake up and watch it. Got up early this morning, watched the fight several times, watch all the commentaries, watch all types of stuff. Let me get the mic out here. Watch all types of stuff regarding the fight. And it went just like I said. I knew McGregor was gonna win. I knew Mayweather was gonna win. I knew McGregor was gonna gas out. I thought it would have been around the eighth round, eighth or the ninth round, but McGregor surprised me. He went one round up, so it was a 10 round, 10th round. The stoppage was good, and here's why the stoppage was good. Here's why the stoppage was really good. It doesn't make sense for let me back up first and explain the stoppage first. Okay, in the eighth and the ninth round, Conor McGregor stopped defending himself. His legs were wobbly. You could see the fatigue on him. You could see that he was taking serious damage to the body, and you could see that he was trickling down, 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 down. Right now, in the 10th round, when he starts getting hit in the head and that type of stuff, you could see that he was gonna get knocked out or knocked down anyway if it even went on. Okay, so it doesn't make sense for him to get damaged and banged up when he has to go back to the UFC to fight. And if he gets a serious concussion, that would be a 6 month suspension. That will ruin other plans that he has to fight Khabib or Ferguson or Kevin, what's his name. The next thing is that you watch the fight, you'll see. Conor McGregor was saying, "Oh, it's an early stoppage." No, my friend, that was an early stoppage. He could barely stand up. He was barely throwing punches. At some point, Mayweather was just gonna knock him down and slaughter him. And I watched the fight so many times, and here's a few things I picked up on. Okay, the first three rounds, they said that McGregor won, but notice that the first three rounds, what Mayweather did was walk around the ring, back up with his hands up, back up with his hands up. He used up all of McGregor's energy. Then after that, no, then he start testing punches here and there, switching up the game on him, taking him into deep boxing waters, using it's kind of like when I used to fight black belts, and they come at me with the yellow belt or the orange belt move, and then afterwards I'm like, no, 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 bro, that's not gonna work. Boom, I hurt them. Then they were like, okay. Then they take it up another level and they start using more advanced moves on me. And I'm like, holy moly, I'm out of my league here. That was when I bring in the Muay Thai moves and cheat, but they don't have to know that. But nonetheless, so that's what happened. He took it. He brought in more advanced skill sets, more boxing. Took it a whole nother level and took McGregor into deep waters to where that was it. Now everybody knew that saw it coming. I knew it was gonna happen. I didn't even waste no sleep watching that fight. I went right to bed. All right. Not saying that McGregor wasn't don't deserve the respect that he got, but if Mayweather wanted to finish that fight within 4 rounds, he could have finished it. Okay, but he came up with a good plan. He realized, hey, I'm not as young as I used to be, but guess what? I'm smarter than I used to be. This is a George Foreman, Michael Moore all over it. So let me break it down this way. Even if McGregor won 6 rounds, all the first 6 rounds, Floyd would have would have still KO'd him anyway. So people are saying, "Oh, McGregor held his own," and that type of stuff. That was a part of the plan to wear him down, to get him to use up his energy and burn out every scrap of power out of him, and then afterwards just walk in and knock him out. So that was the plan. To me, I'm glad I didn't spend the money to buy the fight. That I was able to see on YouTube. Thank you, fellow YouTubers. Watch it over and over again. No, the part that I really liked about this fight, it was in the beginning there was a lot of racists coming out the woodwork, and it was taking on like a strange racial connotation, and I didn't like that. And I'm glad that both Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather and the money team and the PR people or whoever, I'm glad they came together and dealt with it and made it not be about the great white hope versus the unbeatable black guy. I'm glad they fixed that problem to just make it be, hey, this is boxing. We're going to get in the ring. We're going to mix it up. And at the end of the press conference, they had a lot of respect for each other and they were cool. Of course, they probably were cool because it's like $100 million here and $3 million here. And what I'm really happy about is that Conor McGregor is now making enough money to where he can start moving away from that leech Dana White. Now, if you notice that at the end of the post press conference, Conor McGregor said, hey, no, at this stage, I'm going to bring in the lawyers. We're going to count up all the pay per view buys. I'm going to make sure I get all my money. I'm going to make sure I get everything that's coming to me. Well, hold on one second here, bro. In McGregor's UFC contract, there's no right to audit. So, this, him saying that is basically sending a message to Dana White to say, hey, you know what? After having this taste of the Muhammad Ali act and what I'm able to do and how I'm able to account for my money, when I go back to the UFC, I'm gonna want to start seeing some of that because in the UFC, the contract, the merchandise, there is no right to audit and look at the merchandise sales, none whatsoever. And the UFC can reclassify merchandise sales as regular revenue as they see fit. So, boom. He's getting a taste of, legal mindset. Here's what needs to happen. My ancillary rights need to be respected, and he's making sure that Dana White gets that message. Now, next thing he says is, "I'm a free agent." Well, even if I don't believe he's fought all the fights out in his contract, and even if he has, there's a clause in the contract that says as long as you're a title holder, you're contractually obligated to defend the belt. So he's going to have to come back and defend the belt one more time. Okay? In addition to coming back and defending the belt one more time, I'm sure Dana White is going to work something out with him with the money to where he is going to go back to the MMA and stay in MMA. I don't think he's ever going to come back in the boxing arena again. And, I'm going to give some background about me. My grandfather was a boxer. I grew up around a lot of boxing. I mean, I've been watching boxing ever since I was knee high. And I can tell you that what we saw right there was not, you know, McGregor held his own, and that's because Floyd respected his power for the first 3 rounds. Then after that, you could see Floyd start walking him down because Floyd realized 2 things. Number one, first thing Floyd realizes that, hey, there's no knockout power there once I walk this guy down. And in boxing, you generate power, no matter how big or how small you are, from the technique. The technique. You generate power from the technique. Turning your hip, adjusting your foot, getting the punching at the right angle. So no matter how small or how large you are, you can generate the same amount of power from your technique. Now, the boxing techniques that generate a type of power, Conor McGregor hasn't mastered those yet. In the UFC, he's very good with that big, powerful overhand where you leave it all hanging out there. But in boxing, you have to have a thinner profile and a tighter formation, and that was why he wasn't able to get the power off. And because when he's not on the ball of his foot, he can't generate as much power. Right off the break, Mayweather walked him down and gave him a nice beating. But he was man enough to go the rounds and gave it his heart. So I respect that. But for me, I don't think the fight was per se spectacular. I think what was spectacular is the fact that these guys resolved all the publicity hype, got both the Irish and the American fans together to come together and respect the effort and the drive that they put into the event. When you can bring people together like that, that's what I respect. I respect the fact that they were able to cross both cultural barriers, and it wasn't about Irish versus American or black versus white. It was just, hey, this is two boxers. They gave us a good show. They put their heart into it. And then the next thing I like is that Conor McGregor, he's gonna get some good money, and when he goes back to the UFC, he's gonna try and demand more, and that's gonna make it better for the other fighters in the UFC. And I'm always good to see that he got the opportunity to do well. And one of the things that I really was concerned about was the fact that he had to use they say he has to eat that McGregor has struggled making the weight, and he had to get 7 IV bags to rehydrate, right? So one of the things that I was concerned about was him getting brain damage from having low spinal fluid in his brain, in the brain, and getting brain tears when he was if he got too much damage to the head. So I'm glad he didn't get hurt, and he'll be able to go on and do greater things. So that's just a recap on the fight. Like I said, I didn't find the fight that amazing or interesting because coming from a background with my grandfather and my uncle were boxers. It's just like it's not it's nothing to me where I'm impressed. And my uncle, a semi-pro boxer, who got the opportunity to go to Trinidad and Tobago to fight, but straight up, his mom was like, "That's not the direction I want to take for you. I can see where you're father went with that and went a different direction." So, all in all, it was decent. That's my 2 cents from the fight here. I'm up on the John Jones thing. I got some new information I'm putting together. I'm going to do a video. I just want to make sure I check my sources before I release that information. All right, guys, my 2 cents from the fight here. Peace out.